InsideThunder.com. Powered by iHeartMedia, Oklahoma City.
Hi, I'm Randy Renner at Chesapeake Energy Arena, the Oklahoma City Thunder, with a big win on Friday, knocking off the Washington Wizards 109-102. The Wizards came in 22-9. They leave 22-10, still in second place in the Southeast Division of the Eastern Conference of the NBA. They played really well all season long. They were thumped the other day, though, down in Dallas. That ended a winning streak of theirs. And the big news, though, for the Thunder after the win, they get to 500 for the first time this season, 17-17 after starting the year 3-12. Their superstars with big nights. Kevin Durant had 34 points on 12 of 18 shooting. Durant in his last 10 quarters has scored 108 points. Russell Westbrook had 22 on Friday night. The Thunder limited John Wall, the Wizards star, to just 14 points on 5 for 13 shooting. Afterwards, we had a chance to talk to head coach Scotty Brooks and players in the locker room.
Well, I was pleased with the win. I like the fact that we, as the game went along, we really locked into that fourth quarter and played great defense. This is 20 points in the fourth quarter was good. And another thing we did very well, we talked about we have to do a better job of taking care of the basketball, 10 turnovers. And I think even those 10 turnovers, 2 were illegal screen and 1 was an offensive charge. So a lot of good passing for us tonight. We just have to continue to do that while we take our game on the road, because we got a couple of tough road games coming up.
Jeremy Griffin, InsideThunder.com.
Yes.
Coach, we talked a few games ago about Nick Collison not always even making it into the games. Tonight he came in and gave you 5 or 7 shooting, 16 minutes, just seemed like an efficient performance. I remember a time he had a bad game. I mean, how good is it to have him on the bench ready to come off?
Well, it was good. Nick did not play last game, but he came in and he was ready to play. He was locked in. He's a pro. He's a pro. He does all those things that we've talked about for 7 years here. He makes winning basketball plays. He dives on the floor. He sets great screens. He moves the ball. He helps out on the defensive end. But I'm happy that he played well. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 16 minutes. The bench did a good job. And when's the last time Nick led the bench in scoring? But he's a terrific player. I don't look at him as a role player. I look at him as a good player for us, and he does a lot of good things.
Nick Gallo, Thunder.nba.com. You guys made big runs at the end of the first quarter, end of the third quarter. What was your second unit or those groups that were in there? What did they do during those stretches?
Say that again, please.
End of the first quarter, end of the third quarter, you guys made big runs to kind of pull back into the game. What did your bench unit do during those times?
Well, they moved the ball. I thought Nick was a big part of that. Perk played good. Steven banged up a little bit tonight. Perk gave us some extended minutes. But I thought his minutes were really good. The 6 points, 4 rebounds, and he's the quarterback on the defensive end. He really does a good job of communicating, pointing, and making sure that we're locked in on our defensive coverages. But we got some good offense when we keep moving the ball and have everybody touch the ball. That second unit can be a really good ball-moving team, but we just got to continue to work with them.
Coach Tim Farley, Ion, Oklahoma. Can you talk a little bit about the end of the third quarter when you went on that 8-0 run, and was that the pivotal series of plays in this game?
Well, we were missing some shots in the late part of that third quarter. Obviously, Kevin came in and made it, or Kevin was in and made a couple of big shots down the stretch of that third quarter. That gave us a little bit of momentum going into that fourth quarter. But I like the fact that we really locked in defensively. This is a team that's very good. They have a good bigs and they got good point guard play. But we did a great job throughout the game of just staying with what we do. And in the fourth quarter, the only hold this team to 20 points. That's a great job by our guys.
Scott, John Hoover, the Tulsa World. I guess Kevin had 34 tonight. Westbrook had 22. Beyond that, they gave you some real mismatches down the stretch.
Yes.
And when you look at the scope of the season, this is only the 9th time you've had both guys for the entire game. Is that just the way that's got to be for these guys? You've got to get 50, 55 points out of these guys every night?
No. I mean, they're obviously good enough to do that. They can score points in bunches. They're both all-star players. But what makes us a good team, everybody has to chip in. Everybody has to, participate on both ends of the floor. Nick 10, Reggie 9, Emil 8. Steven was a little banged up. Normally he gets, his 8 to 10 points. But those guys are great players, and what makes them good players is that they continue to help each other, and also the team get better. But tonight, Kevin had it going. He's had it going last game also. He's on a nice little roll right now. He's done a great job with our staff of staying in condition while he was out, and now we did a great job of executing down the stretch also. We got a lot of good looks defensively. We made 2 mistakes down the stretch defensively, but offensively we got every time down the court we got a decent look.
Darnell Mayberry, Oklahoma. Scott, go back to that third quarter, the end where you guys grabbed the momentum. Kevin hit those 2 big shots. I think they were both threes late in the third. Were you tempted at all? You started him on the bench in the fourth. Were you tempted to kind of ride him as a hot hand and bring him back to start the fourth?
Well, yes. I mean, I was a little concerned, playing the entire fourth quarter. I knew I needed to at least get a couple of minutes rest out of him. But the thing about the fourth quarter, you got the 3 mandatory timeouts and you got a couple of extras. So we could have done it, but I felt at that time he needed a little bit of a blow. I'm glad I did it. We have to continue to trust everybody on our team, and I thought that was a big moment. He was continued during that time when I took him out. He cheered the guys on. Perry, come on, Perry, get in and make something happen. I thought Perry did a good job, and he made the left-hand layup. I think he tweaked his ankle a little bit, but he's going to be fine. But I thought Kevin's leadership tonight was a big part of our win.
Not a monster night from Serge, but I just want to ask you about 2 plays. He closes out on Wall and forces an errant pass, and then he hustles, gets the rebound, put back late. How big were those 2 plays?
They're big plays. Serge is a playmaker for us on the defensive end. He can protect the basket with his block shots and his altering shots, and also he can guard multiple players. We can switch out on him on some point guards. He can guard the 3-point line. He has pretty good feet, and he has the athleticism to contest shots. And the putback that was a big play for us. We needed those. Those are plays that we have to capitalize on, and I thought he did a good job on those 2 plays.
Fourth try at it. How's it feel to finally get to 500?
It's good. It's a good feeling. We've been battling 9 games under at one time, but I'm proud of our guys. They've stuck with it. We've had some rough patches along the way. We've had some tough games along the way, but we've always stuck together and continued to figure out things as we've gone forward and pushed ahead. But 17-17 with a lot of our guys out, Kevin and Russell, and even the other guys were out during that stretch. But we can't rest now. We got to keep playing basketball 1 game at a time. Take every day to get better. And on the road, it's going to be a tough couple of games, but we got to lock in and focus defensively. But it's good to be 17-17 at this point of the season.
Anyone else? Gilman, last one.
Coach Andrew Gilman, Fox Southwest. I think midway through the third quarter, right before Kevin hit those 2 big threes, I think he had only 8 shots. Were you aware, or were you?
Who?
Durant had only 8 shots at that point. Were you aware of that? Is that something that you noticed? If not, or I guess I'll just leave it at that. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think he only had 10 or maybe 11 minutes at the half. He got those 3 fouls, so that was part of it. I mean, most games he's not going to have 8 shots going into the fourth quarter or the last 2 minutes, but Kevin doesn't care about that. Kevin cares about winning basketball games. He doesn't care about being a volume shooter. He's a 50% shooter, a 40 from 3 and 90 from the free throw line, and that's what makes our team good. We care about winning. We don't care about the stats.
Well, Nick, still true. When you and Kevin combine for 44 points, you guys win.
Right. Yep.
How does it feel to start the new year like this?
It was a good win. We needed it. We beat 2 good teams in a row now, so it was good from us. I thought it was overall a pretty solid game. We didn't have any real bad stretches. Of course they went on some runs, but we pulled out of it pretty quick. So we were encouraged with it for sure.
Your minutes this year probably fluctuated more than ever before in your career. How tough has that been to take or just handle?
I'm still confident I can play and play well. Scotty wants to play certain ways against certain teams. So I get a feel. I can tell what nights I'm probably going to get more of an opportunity than others. Washington's going to play mostly too big, and so I thought I'd have a chance to play. I'm just going to try to continue to do what I do, and like I said, I'm confident I can still play and be effective.
Does that, knowing that you're probably going to play, does that change the way you prepare for games, your pre-game routine?
No, I prepare the same way. I'm ready to go either way. Yeah, it's just I just knew I know enough about how teams are going to play and how Scotty wants to play guys that I can get a feel for usually when I'm going to get more minutes.
Extended run tonight. I think 10 points. That had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I was getting some easy ones, which was good. My shot chart's a lot different this year, shooting a lot more jump shots, so it was good to get some easy ones around the basket for me. And yeah, I was happy with how I played for sure.
Can you talk about your shot selection a little bit? Is that something that you're wanting to do, or is that a coach's decision, or is it a little bit of both?
Coach wants me to be able to stretch to three on certain sets, and so I've worked on it. I haven't made a lot lately, but I'm still confident I can get that going again. But also just the start of the year, we were playing so many crazy lineups. I was playing some small forward, so it's just been kind of a strange year. But I feel good with how we're playing now. We can get better, but try to build on tonight.
Your handshake with Steven Adams kind of hit. I know you've done it before, but it kind of hit the web a little bit tonight. Who came up with that idea, and how long have you been doing it?
We've been doing it for a couple of years because we screw up all the other ones, so we have to keep it very simple. And he always squirms away from it, but I always try to keep that eye contact as long as I can. It's something we have fun with, and like I said, it's very simple. We can't screw it up.
Nick, first 9 minutes, KD and Russ combined for I think 19 points. Then they both go out. You take over. Were you feeling it early there?
Like I said, we were executing well, and I was getting some easy ones. So if I'm getting layups, that's usually the function of good offense and good setups, all the little things that lead to good shots. So I think it was a function of us playing well as a team on the offensive end.
Why was that such a key to forcing them into difficult decisions and tough shots?
I thought it was important for us to lock in defensively, especially. We do a great job of finding open threes, so it was good that we did that.
Can you talk about the steal late in the game? What did you see? It looked like took a little bit of a chance there and made a play.
Just locked in and did what I was supposed to do.
So you surprised at how effective Kevin's been scoring right now, coming back so early?
No. What do you mean so early? When are you supposed to come back?
No, I'm not saying coming back so early. So
I'm not saying it. That's what you said. No, I mean, that's what he does. I mean, nobody's not surprised. He's not surprising himself. He's prepared himself well to get back to where he is and back to where he left off. So.
What do you think has made him effective?
Just being himself, man. He's done a great job of just locking in and focusing in on each play and each time. He has the ball and being real efficient.
You guys are back to 500. First time this season out there, 15 starting. So it's a good thing to finally get over that hump.
We've been feeling good all season.
We're helping the 20 points scoring in fourth. That's what we want to do. That's the ideal quarter for us as far as defense is concerned. So we made plays on the first offense.
Kevin, how big is it when you can get 40 points from your bench tonight, the way those guys come off the bench and perform?
Man, it's huge. They moved the ball really well. Nick played well. Perry was really good. Reggie came in and controlled the game as a point guard. Perk was good. So our bench came in and did a great job, Amo. So we got to continue to give them confidence, continue to believe and trust them, and know that they can have some really big nights for us.
You said that you weren't pleased with how you were playing the first time, like you didn't think you were playing all that well. How you feel like you're playing now these first two games?
I'd be better. I should be better. I could be better. All aspects of the game.
Kevin, when you get 6 points like that on a 2-for-1 at the end of the third quarter, what does that do for you all momentum-wise?
I mean, we were down 8, and Serge hit a big shot, to kind of slow their momentum down a little bit. And I just read the plays, and I felt good shooting the basketball from the three-point line, and I was able to knock down 2. And our bench came in and started the fourth, and gave us a nice little lead, and we was able to come in and and keep fighting and take the lead from there.
After you hit those 2 late threes in the third, did you want to stay in to start the fourth?
I mean, whatever coach wants me to do, man. I trust in the bench. I trust in whatever he wants me to do. I'm one of those guys that no matter if I'm on the floor, no matter how I'm shooting, no matter what my minutes is like, I'm going to be aggressive. And I'm going to feel confident, so it doesn't matter to me.
Looks like your feel for the game is very high, especially on offense. A lot of guys that come off the injury, they have to work their way back in. How do you maintain that when you're coming in and out dealing with injuries?
I mean, I've been playing basketball my whole life. I just try to simplify it as much as I can. And, I know where I'm going to get my shots. I know where I'm effective. And I know, how to use my teammates. So, I was out for a while. I watched the game, I did a lot more. And just got to, keep it up, man. I ain't really did nothing that I wanted to do yet. And I got to keep going.
How big is the assistant by surgery, forced to return
It was big, him and Russell have been clutch and getting still. But we always tend to look at the late game plays. But the plays to start the fourth, the defense was really good. Perch did a great job. Our second unit was great, and then that gave us opportunity down the stretch to make those plays as well. So we got guys that have been in battles before, know how to handle themselves, and we did tonight.
You got 8 shots, I think, midway through the third quarter, had some foul trouble. Did you feel like you were having a hard time getting into the game tonight?
No. Foul trouble is a part of it. I got to start fouling, making stupid plays, but I've always felt into it. Coach is going to run plays for me, and I'm going to be aggressive. I didn't rebound in the first half, and usually when I rebound, I feel good. I feel a part of the game. I feel like I'm touching it even when I'm not shooting basketball. So I told myself just come out there and try to grab as many boards as I can and initiate the offense, and I was able to grab some and score.
Kevin Durant, as you see there, and Durant again has scored 108 points in his last 10 quarters. He had 30 in the first half of that game at Golden State where he ended up spraining his ankle, and then of course the other night here at the Peak he had 44, and then Friday night ended up with 34. So he has come back in a big way. The Thunder will practice tomorrow, and then they hit the road for the first part of next week. A couple of big games there, so keep it right here and we'll keep you updated on InsideThunder.com.